You've tried everything to help your child sleep. You've read the books, done the courses, listened to the influencers, and it seems like no one in your house has slept since the baby was born. I understand your struggle and I'm here to help. If you're frustrated with sleep advice that ends in another restless night for your family, it's time to get some sleep. Welcome to the Sleeping Through the Night podcast. I'm Joanna Inks, a seasoned pediatric sleep coach with over 14 years of experience who's successfully guided thousands of families through their children's sleep journeys. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Sleeping Through the Night podcast. I'm Joanna Inks. I'm a pediatric sleep coach and founder of Sleep Solutions Unlimited, and I help tired families teach their babies to sleep through the night and become champion nappers. So today we're going to talk about something that confuses a lot of parents, and it's how babies connect sleep cycles. So the problem that parents see is that their baby falls asleep and wakes up at that 30-minute mark almost on the dot. And it's a chronic 30-minute nap, right? It just happens over and over and over. And the problem with 30-minute naps is they're not super restful. So if your baby is having 30-minute naps all day long, they're not super restful. They're not getting a multiple sleep cycle nap. And I really like babies to get at least one multiple sleep cycle nap in the day, and that's kind of how they stay rested. So if your baby's getting those 30-minute naps over and over and over again, it's probably because of their sleep cycles. So baby sleep cycles, infant sleep cycles last about 45 minutes. And so they start out in a light sleep and they go into a little bit deeper sleep, and then they go into deep sleep, and then they go into REM sleep, and then that's a lighter stage of sleep, and then they kind of cycle again into the lighter sleep, and then the deeper sleep and the deepest sleep, and on they go, right? But after about 30 minutes of sleep, they start going to a lighter stage of sleep. And so that's often where a baby will wake up. And why they wake there is because oftentimes a baby hasn't done the journey to sleep on their own. And so if they're having like external things help them to sleep, then when they get to that lighter stage of sleep, they're looking for that external thing to help them to sleep. And so if your baby is really dependent on external things, they can't connect the next sleep cycle without that external thing helping them again. So your baby's sleep really starts with how they fall asleep, and how they fall asleep at nap time, and how they fall asleep at bedtime. And that's really how they learn to connect their sleep cycles, is doing that journey to sleep on their own. So if you're seeing those chronic 30-minute wake ups, I would look at like, how is your baby falling asleep? Is your baby doing the journey to sleep on their own, or is your baby getting a lot of assistance with external things to help them to sleep? Because you really want your baby to go from point A awake to point B asleep completely on their own, because that's how they begin to sleep more peacefully. Why some babies are better at connecting sleep cycles than others. Some babies are just born better sleepers than others, and that does happen. I don't usually see those ones. I mean, usually when people come to me, I don't get the easy ones. I get the more challenging ones that are really having trouble sleeping or having trouble connecting those sleep cycles. So some babies are just born better sleepers, and they're better at connecting their sleep cycles. And then you have babies that we've taught to be a really good sleeper, because sleep is a skill. It's not unlike learning to ride a bike or learning to swim. It is a skill. So when we teach your baby to do the journey to sleep on their own, then they learn to connect those sleep cycles, because when they come to a lighter stage of sleep, they're not looking for that external thing to help them to sleep. They know what to do with that next sleep cycle. They might roll around a little bit. They might blink their eyes. Sometimes they even cry for a couple minutes, but then they just go right into the next sleep cycle. And so, sleep is not a static thing. Sleep is where we have a lot of movement, and babies do different things between their sleep cycles. Like I said, sometimes they roll around, sometimes they cry for a few minutes, sometimes they blink their eyes. But a baby with really good sleep skills can just get into that next sleep cycle. And one reason that your baby probably isn't connecting their sleep cycles is because, again, they're not doing that journey to sleep on their own. So you either have a baby that's born a really good sleeper, has learned the skill of sleep which is what I teach my clients to do every day, or you have a baby that isn't doing the journey to sleep on their own, has some external things helping them, and then they have a really hard time connecting those sleep cycles. So how babies learn to connect sleep cycles. So when we put a really clear, consistent plan in place that is really appropriate for your baby and for your family, because every family is different and there's not a one size fits all approach. But when we put a really clear, consistent plan in place, then we can teach your baby to do the journey to sleep on their own, because their whole nap success starts with how they fall asleep at nap time, and their whole bedtime success and overnight success starts with how they fall asleep at bedtime. So once we have that really clear plan in place, then usually within like 3 to 5 days, we pretty much see amazing results where a baby can start to do that journey to sleep independently, and we always support them and want to have a plan in place that's really going to work for your family. So any baby can learn to connect their sleep cycles. I have not met a baby over the years that can't learn to do that. So if you're worried that it's too late, or my baby can't do this, or my baby will never learn to do this, I disagree. I really feel like every baby can be an amazing sleeper, and every baby can learn to connect their sleep cycles, and chronic 30-minute naps can be a thing of the past. We want your baby to be really well rested and have like 1 to 2 multiple sleep cycle naps per day. Multiple sleep cycle naps are like an hour and a half to 2 hours. So we're really looking for like age appropriate daytime sleep and really like doing that journey to sleep on their own. So if you would like to learn more about how sleep cycles work and how to help your baby connect them, I just published a blog called How to Help Your Baby Connect Sleep Cycles Without Cry It Out, because most people that want their babies to be a great sleeper really want to do something other than cry it out. So check out the blog. And as always, if you have any questions about your baby's sleep, I will put a link in the description, and you're welcome to book a call with me at any time. There's also some sleep tips down below if you'd like to click on those, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks so much for joining me.